Hello and welcome to this video on the US Salmonella outbreaks of recent years. You can think of this as a less serious and infectious version of the virus which shall not be named of recent months. The lessons from this can be used as a way to understand how an infection can spread in society under better circumstances than we face now. Salmonella is a bacteria, and it causes typhoid. Typhoid is symptomized by diarrhea and fever. Infection can cause these symptoms 6 hours to 6 days after exposure, with the condition lasting up to a week. Salmonella survives to a relatively high temperature. This is why fever does not harm it to the same extent that it does other microbes. The human body's temperature can rise up to 40 degrees Celsius. This survivability in high temperatures is also why salmonella infection is more common in summer. Both the nature of the food prepared at this time and the temperatures are ideal for salmonella. Salmonella is contracted via the fecal-oral route. That is, feces gets on food or your hands and then is passed onto yourself when you eat that food or touch your face. The bacteria spread freely and can be a source of reinfection when you prepare your own food. According to the CDC, for every person with salmonella illness confirmed by a laboratory test, up to 30 more people will have the same illness but not reported. Salmonella itself is commonly found in food, mostly fresh meats and vegetables. These being the biggest concern due to the biological nature of them and the exposure to a number of different sources for salmonella. Historically, it was able to infect people via the water table, where it contaminated drinking water. This could have been because of poor irrigation or removal of waste, open streams where waste was disposed of, or waste material soaking through and down to the water table, where it contaminated aquifers and similar. This is now a far less common avenue in developed nations, but remains an ongoing concern in developing nations, where the water is still regularly contaminated and typhoid is a significant public health issue. In the US, there have been many outbreaks of salmonella each year, and the CDC keeps a record of these investigations on their website. 2018 had 16 outbreaks, 2019 had 7, and 2020 may have 3 as of March. The reason for the CDC's careful observation of outbreaks is the way it can spread and cause avoidable deaths. Let's use an example from April 2019. This started with the production of turkey products. It involved 358 diagnosed cases, 133 hospitalizations, and 1 death across 42 states. The outbreak began with turkey that had been produced and then shipped with salmonella. In some cases, the salmonella was found on live turkeys that had yet to be slaughtered. This meant that it could be caught by buying the fresh turkey, or in some cases even the frozen turkey. This was compounded by the way some members of the public did not cook their poultry properly. This left a large amount of salmonella on or in the meat, which allowed them to be infected and possibly to infect others who ate the same food. Even if they were not infected by the poultry products directly, there was a chance that they could infect themselves through handling the turkey and then passing the salmonella onto another delivery vector. Once they were exposed to salmonella, they then became a vehicle to infect more people with the same. As with the virus that shall not be named, personal and environmental hygiene is key. The area you prepare the poultry in can also be a viable means of infection, with the salmonella surviving on preparation surfaces for a time after. This means that if someone was to use the same surface like a chopping board to prepare food, they can be infected. It can infect others via food or common environments, and to a certain extent, direct exposure between individuals. This allows one person who is infected to spread salmonella by infecting food, the environment, and possibly others directly. It is a good lesson for everyone, but we seem to have learned nothing from the years and decades of these outbreaks. Preventing the spread of salmonella is a relatively simple matter so long as you observe a few very basic procedures. The first of which shouldn't be that surprising. Wash your hands thoroughly with water and soap. Do not put your hands near your mouth or nose after you have dealt with animals or used a bathroom. Try not to kiss or otherwise make contact with your face and that of your animals. These animals will often carry a lot of bacteria that is not harmful to them, but it can be pathogenic to yourself. Try to not let children who are young have a lot of high-risk contact with animals. That is the same behavior when they are hugging the animals or putting their hands near their face. Their immune system is just not developed enough yet. Try not to let the animals eat from your plates or drink from your cups. This will ensure that those pathogens don't get into you. Make sure you clean any preparation surfaces thoroughly, trying not to use the same surfaces for both the preparation of fresh produce such as fruit and vegetables, along with the same surface for meats. Meat can quite easily cross-contaminate with these others, leading to you becoming very sick very quickly. For the most part, good food handling, personal hygiene, and care can mitigate the worst of salmonella, something we can apply to other recent events if we take the time and work towards it. Not doing so leaves people open to not only infecting themselves, but others. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions below.